Ashley Pickle alongside Matt Stepp after the 4A Division I and final state championship for the small schools, where the Argyle Eagles take it 49-21 in absolutely dominating fashion, Stepp.
Yeah, I don't think the score indicates really how dominant Argyle was tonight. I mean, they could have won this game by 50 if they really wanted to. They were clearly the better team tonight, and they've been dominant all year. I mean, this is a team that had kind of a label as not getting it done in the playoffs, and they've really shed that label this year. 2 wins over Waco La Vega, beat Pleasant Grove in their non-district play, ran through one of the toughest districts in the Metroplex, featuring teams like Melissa and Paris, and then dominant playoff run. It was just a run that you really have to tip your hat to Argyle and Coach Todd Rogers and that team, because they were clearly the best team in 4A Division I. They had a mission. They came out and proved it with a really just I don't want to say perfect, but a really great performance tonight.
Very, very dominant, to say the least. And I think that you can credit so much of that. It's truly remarkable how they're able to spread the ball around on offense. When you have a quarterback like C.J. Rogers, a Jasper Lott, who is just a massive human.
Yeah, he's a large child.
He is a large man-child. And then you have Tito Bryce, who was the offensive MVP. That's nearly impossible to stop that offense.
Yeah, I mean, you pair that with Cole Kirkpatrick, all-state wide receiver, and an offensive line that looks like a college offensive line. That's a massive offensive line, and that's where it starts with Argyle. That's where it's been in the past few years. They're dominant in the trenches, and they were dominant once again in the trenches. They paired along with that group, a really talented group of skill kids, and it was impressive to watch. They were clearly a team that I would love to have seen Argyle and Carthage play. I think those are the 2 best teams in Class 4A all year. Unfortunately, we don't get to see them play, but both get state titles and are worthy state title teams.
That would have been an absolute dogfight out there nonetheless. But of course, we've got to give credit to Lindale too. First ever state championship in school history. What Coach Cochran has done with that squad. A shout out to Jordan Jenkins and all the great parts that they have. Truly a remarkable historic year for those set of Eagles as well.
Yeah, I don't think before this year Lindale had ever been past the area round of the playoffs, and it seemed like they kind of float between 5A and 4A, and it seemed like when they would have a really good group come through, they would be in Class 5A, and then when they would drop to 4A, they would kind of have a down group. And they really kind of put it together this year, dropping to 4A and making this run, and credit to them. It was a great year for them. It's no small feat to get here and play for a state title, and they have nothing to hang their heads about. They just got beat by a better team tonight, and that's just kind of the bottom line.
Right, but I'll tell you what, their crowd came ready to go. They were very impressive on the Lindale crowd tonight.
Yeah, I think they had the best crowd of the weekend for sure. I would have liked to have seen what kind of crowd they would have brought if we would have had the attendance restrictions. I think they would have maybe set some 4A crowd records. I think the biggest crowd we've ever had for a 4A game is about 22,000, and I think both with Argyle being so close and with Lindale bringing such a good crowd, it would have pushed that number for sure.
It was loud in here regardless, but Stepp, we made it, man. We are done with small school ball and headed on to just 5 and 6A.
Yeah, shout out to the UIL and all the coaches from Class 4A down to 1A, the coaches, the administrators, the communities for pulling together. No one thought we'd get here to finish a season, and we've crowned 5 state champions this weekend. One more here in 6-man to beat a couple of weeks, and 1A, I guess, Division II. Credit to everyone for getting here. We made it. Let's get the 5A and 6A season wrapped up, and let's crown a few more state champions, and we'll have a lot to celebrate here in the state of Texas.
Couldn't agree more, and I think that goes out to everyone, whether you made it to state or not. To make it through this year was quite the feat for everyone. So congratulations, like Stepp said, to everyone in part of 2020, and we will be back on Monday to break this down for you, all of it on TFT. Kind of weird to say that, but here we go, guys, 2020.